All right, today we're going to paint this sunset over water. All right, the question of the day is, who is J.W. Turner? All right, let's run through the colors. Mars Black, Titanium White, Phthalo Green, Ultramarine Blue, Quin Blue, Van Dyke Brown, Pearly Red Dark, Quin Red, Burnt Sienna, Cad Yellow, Primary Yellow. Let's get the party started! All right, today we're going to do a painting of a sunset on water. For our first layer, we kind of laid in just the sky, just the reflection. I could lay in the groundwork, but it's just easier to do at the end because you're going to have to redo the sky and match it down to the tree level. So it's easier just to do the trees at the end, very thick, very dark, to kind of show those trees poking through the sunset. Just a matter of getting that color right. So we're now ready to get the kind of a sky blue. We got sky blue going here. It's a little muddy here, so we're going to have to clean that up in the next layer. I'm going to just let that set. It is really troublesome working with the orange from the sunset and then into the light blue, because they're obviously going to get brown, and you really want the distinction between blue and orange. You don't want any green in there, so that's a little bit tricky to get that right. We got a little bit of purple at the top. We'll clean it up, maybe give more detail in the next layer. All right, we just got our first layers in. We're going to lighten out those clouds, add some more highlights, get more detail in there. Fill in this cloud cover where there's lack of blue. I'll probably do blue first, so I got that down, and then we'll add the clouds so we can overlay that a little bit, and maybe define that. If we get the sky and the pond just right, then we can add that layer, but we'll see. You'll probably be in the next layer. So J.W. Turner is a famous Romanticist painter, and he was really well known. His watercolor and oil, sorry about the railroad, guys, passes by my house all the time. He was known for watercolor, oil, and he was born into a lot of wealth, so he was able to kind of do his own styles right away versus kind of pitching to the gallery system or the Grand Salon system in Paris. Obviously he's living in England, and so he started doing he got well known for his ocean escapes of ships in the sea later in his life. He didn't really come into that till later. One of his more famous paintings was the burning of Parliament. He was actually there when it kind of caught on fire. Inspired a really great painting of his, as well as later the explosion of Mount Vesuvius, I think, in Italy, and he painted that as well. But his most famous painting of all is the slave ship. So this is really later in life. He's like about 65, and he painted about this infamous slave ship owner who got midway out to sea, and the slaves that he picked up were actually sick, and so he was probably going to lose like half of his, you know, possessions of what they would call half the people would have been dead. And so instead of just carrying them forward to sell anyway in slave auction, which is horrible, he just threw them all overboard and said the whole ship sank for insurance purposes. So a really dreadful kind of practice. And so, you know, Turner really captured this essential scene of one of the more vicious episodes of the slave trade. And that's who J.W. Turner is. All right, we just finished the painting. Let's take a closer look. So we got this really nice sky blue with the dark purple kind of highlights painted in there, a little bit of blended in, not exactly blended in. Then it runs into that skyline with a really dark tree outline with that reflection carried on below with the trees and part of the reflection. I think there was a little bit of a challenge here because the clouds are kind of separated, so it's not as easy to work with from that blue to orange. You don't want any blend on the blue to orange. You kind of want to layer that. So that's the really tricky part, to get that kind of combinations, as well as the transition from a darker blue to a lighter blue once you get to the horizon. It's probably a little bit too blue, but you know, it's kind of, I think it'll sell. I mean, people like those colors. And it's not totally unrealistic. I would say it's a little bit more chroma than probably would be on the reality, but it's fine. I mean, it's a painting, right? You can interpret a little bit. Hopefully you guys like it. Give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see the full version, check my Patreon account. If you'd like to subscribe, you can subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next painting, guys. Thanks for watching.